Mangwana ni Malelepo Vukenjani, Kekwas Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Berry on Wednesday, the 16th of October. These are some of the stories that we are looking at. 31 South African Home Affairs officials bust, including for smuggling and breaking immigration laws. Kenya moves 50 elephants to a larger reserve to ease overcrowding, and Italy transfers first group of asylum seekers to Albania as part of controversial deal. Follow all our programs on oneup2.com, DSTV 285, GoTV 25 in Namibia, and Network Media Hub on YouTube. This is Africa Good Morning. Top stories shortly.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nhh.com.na.
In our top stories, between July and September 2024, the Department of Home Affairs in South Africa finalized 31 disciplinary cases against its officials. According to spokesperson Sia Klosa, the disciplinary cases resulted in a range of sanctions. These include criminal prosecution, dismissal, suspension without pay, and final written warnings. The officials faced transgressions relating to irregular recruitment, violation of the Citizenship Act, and the violation of the Immigration Act. 8 of these cases came from the Free State, while 6 came from KwaZulu-Natal. One of them includes that of an official who failed to abide by the required standards of his ethical conduct. His trial is set to start on 6 November, facing fraud charges. The official was dismissed from the department last year after the conclusion of disciplinary processes. He was implicated by the counter-corruption branch in multiple fraudulent transactions that benefited mostly Pakistani nationals. He allegedly committed fraud by manipulating the systems Home Affairs uses to administer immigration. Another official is a suspended Border Management Authority official arrested allegedly for trying to smuggle foreign nationals into the country. Dora Ngube made her first court appearance on Monday. Her bail application is expected to be finalized soon. According to the BMA, Ngube was stationed at the Beitbridge port of entry. The 52-year-old immigration officer was arrested with 6 suspected illegal immigrants by the SAPS during a sting operation, and this was last month. Moving on to our next story, Kenya is moving 50 elephants to a new home after overcrowding in the Mwea National Reserve has seen the creatures stray into nearby human settlements and damage local ecosystems. The last National Wildlife Census recorded 156 elephants at Mwea, more than 3 times the reserve's capacity. As a result, elephants have strayed into nearby villages, damaging crops, infrastructure, and property. During a 2-week mission to relocate the animals from the 42 square kilometer Mwea Reserve to the more spacious Aberdare National Park, wildlife specialists traveling in helicopters sedated elephants with tranquilizer darts, bound their feet and loaded them onto a caged truck for the 4-hour drive northwest. Kenya's elephant population dropped dramatically a few decades ago because of rampant poaching to supply ivory, but years of conservation efforts have now boosted numbers, with some parks like Mwea National Reserve grappling with overcrowding. The elephants all have GPS collars, so wildlife rangers can track their movements over the next 2 years and monitor their adjustment to their new surroundings. We certainly hope that goes smoothly. Now, the U.S. Commerce Department on Tuesday added 3 companies in China to a list of firms receiving U.S. exports that officials have been unable to inspect. Companies are placed on the unverified list when U.S. export control officers cannot complete on-site visits to determine whether they can be trusted to receive U.S. origin technology and other goods. U.S. inspections of Chinese companies require the approval of China's Commerce Ministry. U.S. exporters are required to conduct additional due diligence before sending items to companies on the list, which serves as a red flag, and may have to apply for more licenses. Moving over to our fourth story, Italy's Interior Ministry announced that it is transferring the first group of migrants to Albania, where Giorgia Meloni's far-right government opened 2 centers it plans to use to process thousands of male migrants. The ship carrying 10 men from Bangladesh and 6 from Egypt left the island of Lampedusa and is expected to arrive in Albania today. Those on board were rescued at sea after setting off from Libya. The 2 centers in Albania will ultimately be used to accommodate 880 migrants at a time, according to Italian officials. The 5-year deal, signed in 2023, requests Albania to accommodate up to 3,000 male migrants, while Italy handles their asylum claims. Women, children, and vulnerable people will still be taken to Italy. It was endorsed by EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, but has been denounced by human rights groups who say it sets a dangerous precedent. The centers will be run by Italy, with Albanian guards providing external security. They will cost Rome 670 million euros over the next 5 years. And in the last of our top stories, Ukraine has denied allegations that it had supplied drones to rebels fighting against the Malian army and Russia-backed mercenaries. It comes after Paris-based Le Monde newspaper reported that Ukrainian drones were providing support for the Tuareg rebels, who are benefiting from discreet but decisive support from Kyiv. Mali's junta-led government ended a long-running alliance with former colonial power France in 2022 in favor of Russia in a bid to tackle a years-long insurgency in the north, but it has been unable to quell the unrest and recently suffered heavy losses alongside its Russian allies. Mali and its neighbors Niger and Burkina Faso, where the military is also in charge, have since accused Kyiv of supporting terrorism in the Sahel, after Ukrainian officials said earlier this year that the country had offered support to the rebels. But on Monday, Ukraine's foreign ministry said in a statement that the country strongly rejects the accusations that have recently been released by the international media outlets about the alleged involvement of the state in the supply of UAVs, which are unmanned aerial vehicles, to the rebels in Mali. It also denied allegations by Malian and Nigerian officials that Ukraine was arming, providing information, and giving support to the terrorist coalition. It called for an end to the spreading of the false information that repeats the fake narratives of the aggressor state, Russia's propaganda. Those have been our top stories on Africa. Good morning. After the break, we're going to be looking at the United Nations Science in 5.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Did you know that both men and women can get breast cancer? It is the most common type of cancer among women, and most breast cancers are self-detected. Expert Dr. Mary Nyangasi explains in the UN's Science in 5.
Did you know that both men and women can have breast cancer? It is the most common type of cancer among women, and most breast cancers are self-detected. If you have a history of breast cancer or any cancer in your family, you'll want to hear what our doctor, Dr. Mary Nyangasi, has to say today. Welcome, Mary. What do we need to know about breast cancer?
Thank you, Vismita. The first thing that you need to know is that breast cancer is curable in the vast majority of cases, especially if it's detected early and treated comprehensively. Breast cancer occurs when cells in the milk-producing tissues of the breast begin to grow at an abnormal pace and in abnormal areas. As they continue to multiply, they begin to appear as lumps or thickenings. They will multiply further and invade surrounding tissues, especially the lymph nodes of the armpits and clavicles, and even beyond to other parts of the body.
Mary, when somebody in our family gets any kind of cancer, that kind of triggers concerns in the rest of the family members. I remember being worried when my father got cancer. What role does a family history play? Who is at risk of breast cancer?
Actually, Vismita, family history is an established risk factor for cancer, both in men and in women. Based on our current understanding, about 5 to 10% of breast cancers come from a family history. Actually, the majority of cases of breast cancer diagnosed occur in women without a family history or inherited mutation. The only risk factor being gender and age.
Wait, so being a woman and aging are my biggest risk factors for breast cancer?
Yes, but there are things that you can do to reduce your risk of.
Truly essential information from the World Health Organization. Let's have a look at the weather predictions before we return with economic news. Getting into economic news, the Mozambican communications regulator, the INCM, announced this week that it has issued the Universal Postal Operator license to Correios Expresso de Moçambique, filling a void that had existed since 2021. The granting of this license is a result of the need to fill the legal void resulting from the closure in 2021 of the public company Mozambican Post Office, which provided the universal post service nationwide, prioritizing economically unviable locations, reads the statement from the National Institute of Communications of Mozambique. Now it adds that the license was issued to CORRE on Monday as this entity was appointed by the government to provide the universal postal service. The UPS comprises the provision of postal services with specified quality provided at all points in the national territory by the postal service operator, aiming to satisfy the communication needs of the population and public and private entities in the development of economic and social activities, the INCM statement explains. Now, in the provision of the Universal Postal Office service, the regulator recalls a satisfactory postal service must be ensured at prices accessible to all users, the satisfaction of adequate quality standards, namely about delivery times, density of access points, regularity and reliability of the service, and under conditions of equality and non-discrimination. Moving over to our other economic news story, Uganda has signed a landmark $3 billion contract with Turkish construction firm Yapı Merkezi to build a 272-kilometer section of railway, boosting regional trade and economic integration. The deal, a priority for the Northern Corridor integration projects, was signed in Kampala by Waiswa Bagea, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Works and Transport, and Yapı Merkezi Holdings Vice President Vice Chairman Erdem Arigolu, now Minister of Works and Transport Edward Katumba Wamala, and Turkish Ambassador Faith Aka were also among the officials present. Uganda Standard Gauge Railway Project Coordinator Conan Perez Wamburu said the agreement was for the first section of a planned 1,700-kilometer electric rail line, and the segment would cost 2.7 billion euros. Construction is set to begin in November and will take 48 months to complete. Conan Wamburu said Uganda will finance the project using its funds and credit from export credit organizations. Ambassador Riches Carbonero, the national coordinator for the Northern Corridor Integration Projects, hailed the agreement as a crucial step towards regional cooperation and economic transformation. The SGR project requires private investment to unlock its full potential, Ambassador Carbonero also said. Those have been our economic news stories on Africa Good Morning. Let's have a look at the economic indicators before we return with the sport.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nhh.com.na.
All right, let's get into the sport news. Sadio Mane's injury time goal secured Senegal's spot at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. The Tarango Lions were set for a goalless draw against Malawian Mane, currently playing for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia and a former Liverpool star, scored in the 96th minute in Lilongwe. With this victory, Senegal now has 10 points in Group L, joining Burkina Faso in qualifying for the tournament in Morocco. Despite recently parting ways with longtime coach Aliou Cissé, the 2021 AFCON champions advanced. In other results, reigning champions Ivory Coast suffered a surprising 1-0 defeat to Sierra Leone, while Ghana is nearing elimination after losing to Sudan 2-0. The final qualifying rounds will occur next month, with the 2025 Nations Cup starting on December 21, 2025 and concluding with the final on January 18, 2026. Let's review yesterday's full results and the complete list of the nations that have already qualified for AFCON. All right, so as I said, Sudan 2-0 against Ghana, Gabon beating Lesotho 2-0 as well, Zambia 1-0 against Chad, DR Congo 2-0 against Tanzania, and other scores: Egypt 1-0 against Mauritania, South Africa drawing with Congo 1-1, Sierra Leone getting the best of Cote d'Ivoire with a 1-0 win, Guinea with a 3-0 win. Now, these are the countries that have qualified already: Burkina Faso, Cameroon. Algeria has also booked their spot. Angola has also booked their spot. DR Congo has also booked their spot. And those are some of the countries that have already qualified for AFCON. Moving on to our next story, former Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel has signed on as the new England manager. The German will be the third foreign coach to lead the England men's team, following Sweden's Sven-Göran Eriksson and Italy's Fabio Capello. Tuchel, who guided Chelsea to the Champions League title in 2021, is stepping in for interim manager Lee Carsley just 3 months after Gareth Southgate resigned following England's loss to Spain in the European Championship final, and this was in July. We end our sport in cricket. England women's T20 World Cup campaign ended at the group stage following a lackluster performance against West Indies in Dubai. They dropped 5 catches, all off opener Kiana Joseph, who played a pivotal role in West Indies' impressive run chase of 142, knocking out England from the tournament. Joseph was let off early at 6, then again at 31 and 35, before scoring a vital 52 off 38 balls. Captain Hayley Matthews also contributed with a half century, helping to form an opening partnership of 102. This marks West Indies' first T20 victory over England since 2018, and is the first time England has not advanced past the group stage since 2010. The semi-finals are set for Thursday, featuring South Africa against defending champions Australia, followed by West Indies facing New Zealand on Friday. Those have been our sports stories on Africa. Good morning. We'll take a quick break and return with your highlights.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Let's get into the highlights on Africa. Good morning. 31 Home Affairs officials bust, including for smuggling and breaking immigration laws in South Africa. Kenya moves 50 elephants to a larger reserve to ease overcrowding. INCM issues universal postal operator license to CORIE.